Okay, here's basically how to process a Directv order. You've got a lead here that's already created. You need to make sure that you have the customer's full 9-digit social as well as their date of birth um, for every account. And you want to get a valid email address as well. But most importantly, in order to be able to run the credit, you have to have the social security number and you have to have the date of birth. You have to have the first and last name, the correct address, and things like that. So if the billing address is different, you always want to make sure to ask if their billing address is different, because if it is different, it's going to run the credit based on their billing address, because most people get their credit cards and bank statements and things like that to their billing address, not to their physical address if it's different. So make sure to always ask this, because if you have the correct billing address and a different physical address, based on where, if the customer has that scenario, you're going to get much more credits to pass if you're doing this properly. If you're just always going by the physical address and not asking, if they have a different billing address, you're going to get more fails, because people live in rural areas and they have to have PO boxes sometimes, or different billing addresses, just because it's a rural route, or sometimes they just moved recently and they haven't changed their address. So once you have that information, then you can continue building the work order. Make sure it's fully built out. You've got a rep name. You've got the provider name must be Directv. And then you must select type as the new activation. And the most critical thing here is that it must select Directv HSP. Do not select Directv Commercial. Do not select Directv SI. Select Directv HSP for all orders. Do not select ever the number of TVs. Always leave it at 0. Go ahead and click Save and let the screen refresh. Once the screen refreshes, you want to go ahead and click this button here, DWS Qualify. Once you do that, don't touch anything, don't close any windows or anything like that, because it will mess this up. So make sure this is the only thing that's up. Don't click over here and click off of this. Only stay working on this window. Once you mess with this window, it will go away and you'll have to restart. So as you can see, it already pre-populates everything for you into the Directv portal. You want to make sure a couple of things are critical here. You want to make sure that this is already always filled out. Sometimes this is empty and it's not pre-selected. Just make sure it's filled out. Make sure this check mark is checked. And it says click here for customer consents to a credit check. If this is not checked, it's automatically going to fail every time. So make sure this is checked. We'll go ahead and click continue. And it says invalid social security number. So we're going to go ahead and proceed without one. And it's going to give us a bad score anyways, because we're doing John Doe and this and that and the other. So we're just invalid information, just so that we can get through here and do a demonstration on how to do a credit check. So it should come back here in a second and tell us there's a fee. So as you can see, the results below are based solely on the information provided by you and your customer. Accordingly, Directv makes no representation of warranty about the accuracy of this tool. Is there a fee required? Yes. Is this a new customer qualified? Yes. Please make sure the information is correct. Please continue with your order. If you change your information above, your credit will be checked again. So we'll go ahead and click continue. When we do click continue here, we can see that we have a couple options here. You always select all included every single time. Once you click that, you need to let it refresh. So as you can see, we clicked right here, all included English. We click that. So once we do that, we let it refresh. Then the next thing we do is select our programming package. So for selecting the select package, we never sell the preferred choice. Do not sell preferred choice or you will not get commission. You always want to make sure that you review the promotional offers. I highly suggest that you do not include HBO, Showtime, Stars, and Cinemax for anybody. But you can include the NFL Sunday Ticket if they want it. But a lot of customers will add this and not remove it, and then they'll cancel their account because they think we overcharge them. So just don't do it, because it'll be a chargeback 90% of the time. So once you've selected your all-included English, you've selected the programming package of select. There's nothing else to select. Go over here to click equipment and select it and wait. Here you're going to select on how many TVs do you want Directv programming. So if we ask the customer how many TVs they want it on, let's say they said 3. we select 3, and it pops up over here on the right side. Some stuff starts changing, right? Up at the top, notice there's some stuff as well. All this stuff up here says, look, incorrect number of receivers have been selected. Select the number of receivers to match the number of TVs that have been selected. So because we selected 3 TVs and we haven't selected any receivers down here, so we said it's going to be on 3 TVs, but we haven't said which 3 receivers we're going to apply. It's saying that there's an error on this form up here. So this thing up here will tell you kind of, what types of things are going on here. So without making it too complicated, just basically know that the first 4 receivers are included. Anything after 4 receivers is going to have a charge. So let's do 4 receivers so you can see what it looks like. You always select the genie for the first receiver every single time, and then after that you always select the genie mini. So, and that's going to be one of these ones here. So 1 genie and 3 genie minis is a total of 4 receivers, right? So that covers 4 TVs, 1 and 3. So over here you can see that it's all free except for the fee based on the credit history of $199. Everything else is free, right? Because we got the first 4 TVs free. So if we add a 5th TV though, watch what happens. So now we have 1 genie and 4 minis. Now you see the cost goes up. So let's start buying boxes. So always try to keep it within 4 boxes. You should be able to sell 99% of the customers this way. If they want to know how much it's going to be for additional boxes, you can simply just select another box up here, make it 5 or whatever, and see how much it's going to cost. So once this has been selected here, we got 4 TVs, 4 receivers selected. You can see this confirm button is turning yellow, right? So that means it's good to go. If it wasn't good to go, it would also turn a different color. So let's put this back to 5 and show you what it looks like. See how it's not going to let you click it? And you can always kind of come up here and see why is that. And it's because of this red X, this reason, this incorrect number of receivers, right? So we need to put back to 4 TVs so that it matches with the 4 receivers. All right. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and click confirm order. No need to do any of the internet and phone. We're always selling customers via SAT or HughesNet, so just sell them the Directv package here. And it looks like you get to the last page and you're just putting in the credit card information. If the credit card information has already been entered into a Gemini, it's going to automatically pre-populate. This is why it's critical that you follow the training steps and always put all of the information into a Gemini first. Save everything. Once you've saved it, then go ahead and start processing your order, and everything will auto-populate in here for you. And all you'll have to do here is click continue and wait for the confirmation page. Actually, after you click continue here, the next page will show a calendar where you get to select the customer's installation date. So if the customer's asking about installation date, you need to let them know that you got to get them through the process. This is one of the last things that they're going to be able to do after they get qualified and you process the full order and the credit card goes through. Then they're going to let you schedule the customer at that time only. So after we click continue, and if there was a credit card in here, the calendar would pop up and you just select the day, review the days and times with the customer, select the day they want, and just click close, and it's going to install the customer on that day and time from the Directv corporate installers. So that's how we process a Directv order. It's always also very important to make sure you always ask your customer if they've ever had Directv before. And if they say yes, you want to find out if they've had it in the last 2 years. If the answer is yes, you want to make sure that you try to qualify them in somebody else's name, because more than likely they may not get qualified in their name, but always try just in case. But just know that if there's some kind of an error in your credit check, it's because the customer's probably had service in the last couple years and they don't qualify for another promotional account just yet. So